how can I transform my life in 10 days? Well, listen, you can't completely transform your life, but you can start to get yourself on a better path. This 10-day transformation is your opportunity to shock your life. I believe that once in a while, we need to shock our life. We get into the same routine, the same grind. We talk to the same people. We go to the same job. We hang around the same mindsets. Every once in a while, we need to shock our system. There's a lot of people out there right now that are stuck. They're stuck. They're stuck in life. You might feel stuck. You might be in a relationship that's stuck. You might be in a business where you feel stuck. But we all get stuck at times. And if we don't shock our system, if we don't do something for a short period of time to dramatically change our environment, our mindset, we're going to continue down that same path. Hey everybody, welcome back to Momentum Monday podcast. My name is Steve Holbrook and I am fired up to be here today. I hope you're having a great day. I'm not sure where you live. I'm not sure what time it is in the world. I'm not sure what platform you're listening or watching this on, whether it's YouTube or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, listening it on those two. Listen, I appreciate you being here and welcome back to Momentum Monday podcast. If you've been here before, if you haven't, please take a minute to subscribe, like this video, share it at the end. I'm really excited about today's topic. Today, I am going to give you 10 ways to transform your life. In fact, I'm calling it a 10-day transformation. I'm giving you a 10-day transformation. You might say, well, Steve, first of all, how can I transform my life in 10 days? Well, listen, you can't completely transform your life, but you can start to get yourself on a better path. This 10-day transformation is your opportunity to shock your life. I believe that once in a while, we need to shock our life. We get into the same routine, the same grind. We talk to the same people. We go to the same job. We hang around the same mindsets. Every once in a while, we need to shock our system. There's a lot of people out there right now that are stuck. They're stuck. They're stuck in life. You might feel stuck. You might be in a relationship that's stuck. You might be in a business where you feel stuck. But we all get stuck at times. And if we don't shock our system, if we don't do something for a short period of time to dramatically change our environment, our mindset, we're going to continue down that same path for weeks and months and years. And I get so many direct messages. I get so many of you reach out. You're so kind all the time. But so many of you are asking, Steve, how do I get out of this rut? How do I do that? I need a plan. Well, I wrote a plan for everybody watching. It's a 10-day transformation plan. At the end of this plan, you are going to feel so much better about the path you're on. And if you could just continue the momentum that you create over these next 10 days, eventually your life will change, as it has for me. And it has for hundreds of the people that I've been coaching over the last 15 years. So welcome to Momentum Monday. Today, you're in for a treat. Are you ready? Let's get started. Just before I give you day number 1 of the transformation plan, I got to tell you, if you really want to take this challenge to the next level, you got to go pick up the 177 Mental Toughness Secrets to World Class by my friend Steve Siebold. I didn't know Steve when he wrote the book. I've met him over time, different events and now through our company. But this book is my mindset Bible. I recommend while you're going through this 10-day transformation, you read one chapter of this book every day for the first 10 days, and then you go for the next 177 days, and you read how the world class think. This is all about mental toughness. This has been my all-time go-to book. This book, Think and Grow Rich, probably How to Win Friends and Influence People, but you have to pick this book up. So you got to go and order it from his website or go figure it out. You're smart. You can figure out how to order it. Okay, here we go. 10-day transformation. Day one, fresh start mindset. Fresh start mindset. Here's what you're going to do on day 1. You're going to find some quiet time, 15 to 20 minutes by yourself. And all you're going to do is you're going to give yourself permission to have a fresh start. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to start to think about how you want to feel at the end of these 10 days. How do you want to feel? What are some things you want to let go of? What are some bags you want to stop carrying? Put yourself in that state. Think forward to that. How do you want to feel? How would that make you feel to let go of those things? And that's all I want you to do for day one. Fresh start mentality, day one. Trust me, there's a method to this madness. All right, day two. You ready for day two? Day two, I want you to write down 3 compelling goals. The first goal is something you're going to accomplish in 6 months. The second goal is something that you're going to have accomplished in 9 months. And the third goal is something that you're going to have accomplished in 12 months. I want you to go ahead and write that down. If you're listening to this, stop the audio, stop the video, write down those 3 compelling goals, or come back and do it. 6 month, 9 month, 12 month. 1 compelling goal for each time frame. Why is it important? I think it's important. I use the ladder or the domino plan when setting goals. 1 goal leads to another, leads to another. I believe that if you can get some small wins over time, it'll lead to big wins down the road. So I stack my goals up. I stack a goal at 12 weeks. I stack a goal at 6 months. I stack a goal at 12 and then 2 and then 5 years. And I stack my goals. They're not all pushed to the 5-year plan. And they're not all pushed to the 1-year plan. I have some shorter term goals that keep me excited. I have some longer term goals that sell me the vision. I want you to set a 6-month, 9-month, 12-month goal. 1 goal. And if you're watching this and it's related to your business, make it a business goal. If you're listening to this and it relates to your relationship, make it a relationship goals or health goals. And we're going to work towards that. And that's going to be important. But if you can't identify those things, you're not going to have a transformation. Well, that's day 2. Day 3 of the transformation is all about eliminating clutter. Eliminating clutter. We're going to eliminate clutter in 2 areas, because when you have a bunch of clutter and a bunch of noise around you, you have a hard time focusing on what's important. The first area of clutter that we're going to declutter is in our relationships. I want you to write down on paper the top 15 to 20 people that you spend the most time around. Not the people you like spending the most time around, the people that you are spending the most time around. Go ahead, write it down, 15 to 20. And right now, with COVID, there might only be 3 to 4. Write those people down. And I want to challenge you to look at that list and ask yourself, are the bottom 1 or 2 people on that list, in terms of don't inspire me, might be negative, don't have the same vision, are the bottom 2 people on that list, do you have the ability to move away from those people somehow? Spend less time with those people. The people that are taking energy away from you, that aren't adding value, that doubt you all the time, the undermined comments. Is there a way you can spend less time around those people? But on the flip side, I want you to look at the top of the list. The people on the list that inspire you the most, challenge you the most in a good way. Is there any way you could spend a bit more time with them? Bit more time with the top 2, bit less time with the bottom 2, depending on how big your list is. That number might be bigger or smaller. And you start to move towards the people that are adding value to your life, and you're slowly starting to cut the oxygen off of the people that don't really support you or that aren't really in line with where you want to be. I also want you to hop on your social media. I want you to take a look at all the people you're following, all the messages that you're allowing into your brain. And I want you to go ahead and unfollow 10% of the people that you're following. At least start with 10% so it doesn't look like a mass exodus. You have to control the types of people that you put in your life, or you will end up out of control. The second area that I want you to declutter is physical clutter. I want you to declutter your car. I want you to declutter your house. I want you to declutter your closet. You could probably get rid of 40 to 50% of the stuff in your closet and give it away to charity. You'll feel good about it. Yeah, you could go make a bunch of money on your clutter. You know what would make you feel better? Give it away. Give it to somebody that needs it. Your garbage could be somebody else's treasure. And I don't mean that it's garbage. I mean, it's stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. You have to let go of things to create space for new things. Declutter your life. Acknowledge the pleasure that it brought you. Anchor that feeling and then let it go. Let it go. You don't need to keep everything that you've ever bought. You don't need to hang on to every relationship that you've ever built. It's holding you back from meeting new people. It's holding you back from acquiring new things and new experiences. Declutter your relationships and declutter physically, whether it's your closet, your house, your car, your office, all the stuff that's on your office desk. If you walk into my office, there's not a piece of paper, there's not a pen that remains on my desk. Every single day when I leave my office or night, there's nothing on top of the desks, ever. Everything's put away. So that when I walk in the morning, I'm not distracted by all the clutter around me. Declutter your life. That's your challenge for day 3. All right, day 4. You're already starting to get on a better path. This is what day 4 is going to be about. Proper time allocation. Proper time allocation. I want you to be 100% accountable for your calendar. So first things first, you need to start using a calendar. And I am not just going to recommend, I'm going to tell you, you should be using an electronic calendar. Yes, if you like to write it down on paper because you're old school, great. Write it down also on paper if you're old school, but it should be kept electronically. It's easy to duplicate. Your spouse can have access to it. Your assistant can have access to it if it's electronic. You can calendar evite people. This is 2021. You got to get in the game with an electronic calendar. I don't care if you still like to keep a paper one like I do to keep notes, and if you want to duplicate it, it's still worth your time to have an electronic calendar. Very important. And then here's what I want you to do. I want you to take everything out of your calendar, everything, like blank slate, everything that you've been doing. Now, there's been a lot of things you have not been scheduling, so for some of you, this might be easy. Take everything out of your calendar, and then I want you to put everything back in your calendar that you're going to do that week or that's important to you. And if it's not important to you, you don't put it in your calendar. So you're going to build a solid calendar of things that are actually important, and then you're going to do everything in that calendar. I want you to evaluate all the white space. I want you to evaluate every freaking 20 minutes. The pros that I know, they're evaluating every 10 to 15 minutes. Most people evaluate before lunch and after lunch, and some people evaluate week to week. Where are you spending your time? What are you doing? What are you thinking about? Hey, if you need a 20-minute cat nap and it's scheduled and you're beat, then take your 20-minute cat nap to get off the damn phone. I'm talking about taking everything out of your calendar and putting everything back in your calendar that serves you. You got time blocked off for yourself. You got time blocked off for your family. You got time blocked off for date night. What, you want to build a business and miss watching your kids grow up? Or all you want to do is watch your kids grow up and be broke the whole way? You can have it all here. You can have it all anywhere if you schedule it properly. So day 4 is all about reevaluating our time allocation so that we can have integrity with our time. Take everything out of your calendar, make a list of all the things that you must get done in a week or that are important to you to get done, including taking care of yourself 2 or 3 days a week. Maybe it's physical activity, go for a walk, play a round of golf or 9 holes of golf. Time with your family, schedule time with the kids. When are you going to be home? When are you going to do breakfast? When are you going to do dinner? If you're a busy guy like me, you got to schedule those things in. When are you going to take them to the golf course, to the range? When is going to be a movie night? And when it's not those things, I'm doing other stuff, like working on my business, like spending time with my wife. I don't want to be in a constant state of regret and panic. I don't constantly want to be thinking about other things, and neither should you. Okay, good luck with day 4. Day 5, I want you to set up a rewards program for you and your spouse, or if you're single, for yourself. I want you to set up a rewards program. What do I mean by that? Well, it's been scientifically proven that it takes on average 66 days to do something consistently before you form a habit and it becomes part of your routine. 66 days. That's almost 8 weeks. So here's what I want. It's a little bit more than 8 weeks. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to schedule something special every 8 weeks, whether it's a night away or it's a hotel stay even in your local city or a night in the mountains. Every 8 weeks, I want you to schedule either a night away or a day and a half away. That's something exciting you can look forward to, and it's a contingency trip. When you accomplish what you set out to accomplish in terms of the activity and the effort, you reward yourself by going on that trip. I'd book it 8 weeks out. I would prepay for it, so it's all taken care of. But I love these little contingency stays. Now, are you always going to hit your goals? No, I don't always measure. You shouldn't cancel your trip if you miss your goals. But you should be operating with intention throughout those 8 weeks. You should be focusing on it. You should be reading it. But then you have 8 weeks to get it done. And at the end of 8 weeks, you feel so good for staying on task, for staying focused. And it makes it worth it. Set up these 8-week trips. Could be a night away. Could be a little camping trip. Could be staying in a local hotel. Could be sending the kids off to grandma's house. Could be an epic date night. Could be anything. But something every about 8 weeks for you to look forward to. I want you to set that up for yourself. Go ahead and do that, but for now to the end of the year. And star and circle those weekends, circle those nights on your calendar. Oh man, you need a rewards program. You want a transformation? You need to act. You need to play with that side of the brain. Rewards program is going to help you out. Trust me. All right, day 6. Are you ready for day 6? Day 6 is going to be a challenge. Day 6 is all about having a 24-hour period with no negative thinking. 24 hours, no negative thinking. That's what day 6 is all about. So what do I mean? I mean, you are not going to allow yourself to finish a negative thought for the entire day. For some of you on this, watching or listening, it's going to be like an awakening, or in Japanese, they call it a satori. This is an awakening. Every time you think a negative thought, you have to catch yourself, and then your job is to put yourself in a state of gratitude. Your job is to have some things written down or some things you've already thought about that when you think about them, they make you happy. For 24 hours. This might be one of the most challenging things you've done in a long time, but it needs to happen. You really want to shock your system? You really want to prepare yourself for a transformation? I'm telling you, have a 24-hour negative-free day. Negative thought-free day. And guess what? They're going to creep in at times. Something's going to happen, but you're going to catch yourself. For 24 hours, you're going to catch yourself. You need to do this. Just to show yourself it's possible to create awareness around your mindset. We need to shock the system. Something needs to change. I'm going to challenge you to do this. And it starts to sow the seeds of optimism and hope. It starts to sow the seeds of belief and build confidence. This is super important because what the professionals have the ability to do is not 100% block out all the negative noise, although they can do that at a high level. But when a negative thought seeps in, the pros have a mechanism or a trigger that they use to snap themselves out of it. I'm going to challenge you on day 6 to go 24 hours without feeding into any of your negative thoughts. I'm telling you, you need to do this if you want to start to transform your life. All right, day 7 is about creating a healthy body. Creating a healthy body. Day 7 is all about looking inward. How have we been treating our body? What does the nutrition look like that we've been putting in our body? Are we eating for fuel or are we eating for taste? Here's what I want you to do on day 7. I want you to go back 2 days ago. So go back 48 hours because you can still remember 48 hours ago. And I want you to write down all the food that you ate over the last 48 hours. And I want you to write down all the food that you've eaten today. And I want you to start to look at your eating patterns. Are you getting enough protein? Are you eating enough healthy carbs? You don't need to necessarily hire a dietitian. You don't necessarily need to read, Healthy Eating for Dummies. You just need to use your brain. Are you overindulging in sugar like I do quite often? Is there some imbalance in your nutrition? When you put something in your mouth, is it more often being put in there for taste or are you eating strictly for fuel? It's time to start paying attention. It's time to start looking at what we're putting in our body. You don't need a crazy ass diet. You don't need to go crazy on a workout program. You've tried that stuff. Now that stuff helps. But the first thing that you are going to need here is to just understand it's about starting to create a healthier body. It's about drinking more water. It's about eating better proteins. It's about really looking at what kind of fats are we intaking. Are we overindulging on sugar? Are we using it as a crutch? Are we eating emotionally? Or are we eating when it's time to fuel our bodies? I want you to keep it simple. I don't want you to get too complicated than that. I want you to write down all the food that you've been eating. I want you to do your own research. And I want you to ask yourself, what are some small changes that I can make in my diet that'll get me on a better path? And really dig into it. That's all day 7 is going to be about, is really evaluating what we're putting into our body, because our body fuels our brain and our brain fuels our mindset and our mindset creates our world. So what you put in your mouth ultimately shapes how you see the world. That's what day 7 is all about. All right, here we go. Now we know the kinds of food and fuel, or we're at least aware of what we're doing around food. Day 8 is all about physical activity. Physical activity. I want you to go into your calendar, and I want you to put in your calendar either 2 or 3 days a week where you're doing at least 20 to 30 minutes of physical activity. I recommend 3 days a week. I recommend at least 20 minutes. It could even be going for a walk. And I want you to get outside. And I want you to breathe fresh air. And I want you to intake fresh oxygen. Because when you have oxygen to the brain, you're thinking clearly, you're thinking more positively. So day 8 is all about evaluating physical activity in your calendar. I don't just want you to do this for 2 or 3 days during this 10-day program. I want you to take a look at your life right now. And I want you to ask yourself, am I getting exercise 3 days a week? Am I getting outside? Am I taking deep breaths? Am I truly getting oxygen to my brain? Because if not, you're probably not thinking clearly. You're probably stuck in a negative pattern. Get outside. Do something physical. Don't just put this into your calendar for a week or a month. Start to implement this in your life. But certainly during this challenge, do this and start to see the changes that are going to occur. But go ahead on day 8 and evaluate the physical part of your life. All right, day 9. Day 9 is all about picking the next 3 books that you're going to read or listen to. I want you to pick the next 3 books you're going to read or listen to. I love picking books in bunches because it gets me excited to finish the book that I'm reading because I know the ones that are coming behind it. But I also like picking specific books for where my mindset is. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they personally develop, but they're just listening to random podcasts. They read random books. I hardly ever read a book that was recommended to me just when it was recommended to me. I read that book after I'm done the previous book or the book after that because I evaluate where I'm at and then I find books that'll help me with the issue that I'm currently having. So I just got through Golf Isn't a Game of Perfect by Bob Rotella. That tells you my golf game's at. But really, it's not just a golf book. It's a mindset book. Finished that book. But right behind that was Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil for like the 3rd time. And as soon as I'm done that book, which will be today or tomorrow, I'm going to pick up Big Money Energy by Ryan Serhant. And I'm fired up for that. And just before I start reading that book, I'll pick the next 2. Get strategic with your personal growth. Get strategic with the books you're listening to or that you're reading. Go pick out 2 or 3 ahead. Get them all stacked up. Go purchase them. Or however you read them or listen to them, go get them ready. And it'll really help you get through one. Look, if you're really going to have a transformation, you're going to have to start reading. You're going to have to start listening to podcasts. You're going to have to start listening to audiobooks. Something's going to have to change. You have to put some positive stuff in there. You're never going to get to the next level of thinking with the same thinking that got you here. So you have to change that mindset. And the way to do that is books, audiobooks, podcasts, intentional personal growth. So go pick out the next 2 or 3 books, get fired up, and let me know what they are. Okay, here we are, day 10. Are you ready for day 10? Here's what day 10 is. The painful reminder. The painful reminder. Tony Robbins a long time ago talked about, as humans, we're either motivated by pleasure or motivated by pain. We're motivated by things that we want, like a big house, a big car, all the money, all these things that make us feel pleasure, make us feel happy. But the problem is that most of us have never experienced those things. So we don't really know how hard we want to fight for those things. But on the flip side, we're also motivated by pain. We don't want to be in debt anymore. We don't want to be in bad relationships. We don't want to feel broke. So we know how we don't want to feel. And a lot of times, being motivated by pain is more powerful than being motivated by pleasure. So here's what day 10 is all about. I want you to write down on paper. Go ahead, write down on paper all the things that you'll continue to have in your life if you don't make a transformation. All the things that are driving you crazy right now, all the things that you're stressing about, all the things that you're living in fear about. I want you to write them down on paper. All the things you're going to keep getting in your life that don't serve you, that aren't getting to where you need to be. Make a whole list of those things. And right below that, I want you to make a list of all the things that's costing you in your life to be hanging on to those things. And where your life will keep going if you don't make a transformation. What's the relationship with your kids going to look like? What's your bank account going to look like? What's your significance going to feel like? What's your contribution going to feel like? If you don't get unstuck, and if you don't continue to transform, and if you don't ask for more, and you don't want to get to the next level, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And if you're okay with that, then I guess I am too. But that's not how I want to live. I'm grateful for what I have, but I'm hungry for the next level. And if you don't decide to transform, if you don't decide to make a change, then nothing's going to change. And I want you to write down all the things that you're going to keep getting. All the negative thoughts, all the negative feelings, write them down. And then I want you to go to a fire or a lighter, and I want you to light them on fire. I want you to watch them burn. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take 2 or 3 deep breaths. And then I want you to smile. And then I want you to give yourself permission to start fresh. And that's why you need to transform. And that's why you need to make the change. So I hope you're fired up to do it. Hey, everybody. Today was awesome. I hope you got a ton of value out of that. You're going to need to go back and listen to this again. Get a notebook, listen to it again, but send it to your team. This is a great team exercise. I'm telling you right now, this will get you on the path of a life transformation. It's the shock that you need. Go make it happen. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for joining us on Momentum Monday. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks, everybody.